And we're live. It's the Revved Up 906 podcast, a Detroit Pistons podcast to be exact. And I'm Hudson.
And I'm Ryan.
And well, Ryan, tonight's matchup against the 76ers did not go how we probably would have expected it to go this bad. But the final score for tonight's matchup against the Sixers was 116 Pistons, 76ers 147. What are your first thoughts when dissecting this game, Ryan?
Well, we were missing our bigs.
Yeah.
Stu was out. Duran was out. Bogey was out.
Right.
Livers has still been out. But yeah, our only big was really Nerlens Noel, who we actually are talking about in our next episode.
Yep, in episode 10.
Yep. Nerlens played 21 minutes, had 5 points, 3 blocks, 1 turnover, 1 assist, 5 rebounds. He only took 5 shots and was 2 for 5. He took a 3 and actually made it, so he was 1 for 2. But it's a game that you would expect him to have a better, I guess you could say, a better stat line than what he had, given that he started and he had 21 minutes and he was the only big. But yeah, we were very depleted tonight. And so we didn't have anybody to really face off against Joel or their size like Tobias Harris. But it was rough.
Yeah, it was a tough matchup, right, against Joel Embiid, who eventually had 36 points. So it's not like he was going up against a mediocre center, right? He's going up against the cream of the crop when mainly this season he's been playing maybe not even 8 minutes, So I think that's something that has to be noted. He's coming up against a cream of the crop center. But one thing that I feel like had to be noted if we're looking for shining lights in a loss like this is we did kind of turn around our free throw shooting tonight from going 30. Made 30 out of 36. That's a little bit better than per usual. Another thing is Hamidou Diallo with 14 points tonight on 6 of 9 shooting.
Yep.
That's something where that's exactly kind of where we want him as far as each and every night coming out with around 14 points and shooting high percentage shots. So I'll give him credit for that. I mean, right away, when you get the notification of the final score of the Pistons game, you notice 147 points. That is just way too much. The Sacramento Kings this year, who are averaging the most points per game, average 118, almost 119. Yeah. So, and we scored 100 and how many was it? 116, which isn't bad, right? That's near the top of what Sacramento's averaging. So it's just to show how bad our defense was tonight, and we just couldn't slow them down, like the other night. So that is a shame to give a team 147 points.
Yeah, we just didn't have the size. Because you look at Killian and you go like, dude, what happened when he's been playing so well? Well, he was getting guarded by Tobias Harris all night. How is Killian supposed to guard or be guarded by Tobias the entire night and actually get a good shot off? And so it was not good for him. The 76ers are just big in general, even because like their point guard, James Harden, is big himself. So it's hard facing off against a team that's big. My one takeaway, though, is Jaden Ivey had a great game despite despite our loss and how well we played as a team. He was very efficient. 17 points, 4 assists, 1 steal, 2 rebounds off of 4 for 8 shooting and 3 for 5 3-pointers. And he was also 6 for 6 at the line, which I will take those stats from him every single night. Sadiq really was not a factor at all until maybe late third quarter, fourth quarter there. That's how he got a 17. But he still had a terrible night shooting. But he did have 9 for 9 at the free throw line, which I will take that. That was definitely his best night shooting at the line this season. Kevin Knox, a 13-point game for him. He
Hmm.
really had to score because he had opportunities to. But Rodney McGruder,
Right.
17 points.
Yeah, I mean, I love to see that, especially coming off the bench. You know, I actually kind of feel bad sometimes when you see a bench guy have such a good game like that because you're like, oh, he's been riding the bench all season. You know, he's finally starting to get some consistent minutes since we're struggling with some injuries right now. But, I mean, he's a talented guy. I'm always somewhat impressed with the way he plays. He's a smart guy.
Yeah. His shooting was very efficient. He was
Yeah.
5 for 8, and his 5 shots were all threes. And then he made 2 free throws. So he had a great night, only 24 minutes.
Hmm.
Hami had a solid night like normal. These are the types of games where these guys have to step up in order for us to not get blown out, blown out. We were blown out, but they definitely stepped up. Alec Burks had
Yeah.
another great night, 16 points. Not very efficient, but he got the job done at the line.
Hmm. I think these last couple weeks, our bench is proving that we do have one of the better benches in the NBA. When Hamidou, Magruder, I mean, Knox started tonight, but typically he's coming off the bench. Burks having double-digit games. I mean, that's great production from your bench.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because these last probably 7 years, the Pistons have had great benches, um, but it just doesn't translate to wins when the starters aren't quite figuring it out and the rest of the bench isn't quite matching the mold. One thing I wanted to bring up tonight too, from the Motor City Cruise, we saw Jared Rhoden
Yep.
tonight. One bucket made, a couple rebounds here and there. I think he had 3 total.
Mhm.
But when I was watching him move up the court, kind of get involved with the offense, he kind of passed the eye test of being a hooper. I
Yeah.
kind of wish we got to see a little bit more of him. What do you know about him, and did he kind of catch your eye at all either?
When he came in, I knew his story. He came in and he looked like it was his first game ever in the NBA because it kind of was. Uh,
Yep.
he was definitely struggling and trying to get used to the tempo at first, but
Right.
I noticed he just sat in the corner most of the time, which I get it because he's
Yep.
probably really nervous. But yeah, I think he has all the potential in the world to be something. And when I say something, I'm not saying, oh, he's going to be a superstar or he's going to
Right.
be a key starter for years to come. I'm saying he's kind of like going to be a six man, somebody that you're going to rely off of the bench and who can just get a shot up and get some points when you need him. I he is a little undersized for his position, but
Yeah.
undersized players have a lot of success in the NBA somehow, some way. So yeah, if he does what he's supposed to, he'll be perfectly fine.
He kind of reminded me of a shorter Sadiq. He kind of seemed like he had that sort of play style as Sadiq,
Yeah.
maybe not as good of a defender. But it kind of sucks too. I like Kevin Knox, but he hasn't really been where we want him to be. I'd kind of like maybe a Roden taking over Kevin Knox's spot. It would be nice to kind of see him get some more time in the big leagues with the Pistons, traveling with them,
Yeah.
maybe getting 8 minutes here or there. Just because he did kind of pass the eye test to
Mhm.
me, I kind of felt like the one shot he knocked down, it was a tough shot, and he made it
Yeah.
look easy. So I feel like guys like that are bucket getters, I think they deserve some time at least in the NBA to give them some minutes. And I think Kevin Knox is starting to run out of time, starting
Hmm.
to just kind of waste away. It seems,
Yeah.
maybe he'll turn it around, but I feel like I think we're around 40 games into the season.
Yep.
I feel like he should have kind of found a groove by now if he was going to really amount to anything. And unfortunately, it just hasn't really happened yet. And I've been waiting for it, waiting for it. There was like a 2 week span about a month ago where I was like, okay, this might be amounting to something. And it just hasn't really amounted to what I wanted. But time will tell, I guess. Time will tell. And like tonight, 13 points.
Yep.
Not bad.
Yeah, I think Kevin Knox, again, I keep saying this, he has all the potential in the world to be something special. There's a reason
Mhm.
why the Knicks drafted him as high as he was drafted. There's a reason why on every mock draft he was going from the range of 7 till 20, in that range. He's a high
Yeah.
lottery pick for a reason because he is big and long and he's fast and he can, when he has the ability at times, he can shoot. But it's just, I don't know what it will take to unlock him because he has games and shows flashes where it's like, oh, you need to guard
Yeah.
him. But then at other times, it's like, I don't really care. He can take that shot. It's not going to be the end of the world if he makes it.
Yeah.
Nobody's ever going to game plan for him. And
Yeah.
but I still think he has a lot of potential. I'd throw him in at like the 10th man or maybe 11, 12 around there where he'll
Hmm.
get some minutes, but he's not going to get like guaranteed minutes every night. I will say it depends on what you game plan for. So if it's like a bigger team like Philly, yeah, I'm going to have him as one of the first guys off the bench just because he
Yeah.
has the size. But yeah, I want to see Roden getting a lot more playing time down the road. I also want to see Buddy, but I don't think that'll
He
happen anytime soon. I hope
hasn't
so.
gotten any minutes.
No, he hasn't.
Kind of surprising.
It's a little worrisome in the sense that you drafted him in the second round. Was it a draft pick or did we sign him?
We might have signed
Okay.
him. Trying to remember back, but I
Okay.
think he might have been a signee.
Okay. But still, you sign him to a two-way deal for a reason, and he hasn't
Yeah.
gotten any playing time on a very young team that he should have been given a chance by now, probably.
Yeah, I might as well give him some feelers, right?
Yeah. Got to see what he
Um,
has to do and all that. But
yeah, I mean, we have to have a look at him.
yeah.
And if you don't give him the opportunity, and he's not doing too much, I believe, in the G League either. So it's like if he was making some splashes like Jared Roden is in the G League, because he's averaging like
Yeah.
23 points, something like that. Um, if he was kind of doing that in the G League, maybe, he would get some more playing time, but it's just not really amounting to much. Something I wanted to mention about the 76ers is they shot 60% in the whole game from the
Yep.
field, which is incredible. But one thing I will give credit to with Pistons tonight was only 11 turnovers on the game. So compared to last game, that is kind of nice to see.
Yep.
Just barely in the double digits after I believe it was like 23 the game before. And then turnovers on the 76ers actually had 18.
Yep.
So they had way more, but beat us by,
The difference in
however.
that is the fact of how many rebounds and assists we had. We
Yeah.
only had 26 rebounds and 23 assists. That is awful. We
Yeah.
had what? 17 rebounds at halftime. That's not
Yeah.
good. But again, that reflects on our depleted team without having our bigs with Dern and Stu, and then not even having Livers or Bogey, because they would definitely get some boards. But yeah, and then you look at Philly, they had what? 55 rebounds and 36 assists. That's a big difference. And I
Yeah.
believe Joel Embiid actually left in the third quarter, as did
Yeah.
James Harden. So
Yeah.
really, as soon as they left, we kind of snuck back in, but
Yeah. Momentum definitely changed a little bit in our favor, just losing those two guys. It was
yeah,
never really able to amount to anything. But I mean, that's just to show how good Embiid is too.
yeah,
36 points and didn't even play in the fourth quarter.
yep,
Well, he's a great talent.
yeah.
Great
He
talent.
he should be the MVP this season, but I don't think he'll get it.
I think he's gotten snubbed these last couple of years.
Oh,
We'll
he's
see it
gotten
again.
snubbed every single year.
Yeah, yeah, he's a great
His
talent. We're
stats
big
are
Embiid
there.
guys. Yeah. Any last takeaways before we wrap up our recap of Pistons versus Sixers?
Don't sleep on Rodney Magruder.
I like that. I like that. Does Magruder get big time tonight?
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Okay.
When
Okay.
you're efficient and you have 17 points off the bench and you
right?
normally don't get playing time, I'll take that.
Yeah. We're big fans of bench production.
Yep.
Like that's like immediately what we're looking at is like, okay, what did the bench come up with tonight? I feel like we're always on the same page there.
Yeah, if you get in with barely any minutes and work your tail off, we're going to talk about you.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, that'll do it for today's Revved Up recap. We talked about Pistons versus the Sixers. The final score was 116 to 147 in Philadelphia 76ers favor. And we will see you all in episode 10. We are going to be talking about Jalen Duren and Nerlens Noel and what that kind of looks like in the rotation. Who should be getting more minutes? Should Nerlens Noel be getting more minutes like he has as of recent? We will be breaking that all down in the episode coming out Saturday afternoon. You can follow us on TikTok at Revved Up 906. Shout out Grind Clothing Co. Brian, the owner of Grind. Go
Yep.
look them up on Instagram. Go check out their shop. See if the merch is calling to you, if it can fit in with any of your cool fits. So shout out Grind Clothing Co. And we will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.